Hey guys, here are my UFC 103 predictions. The fights are September 19th in Dallas, Texas, and before the fights you can actually watch the prelims on Spike, which is pretty cool, so it gets you all pumped up to spend money on the pay-per-view, but it's still really cool. As you can see, I'm filming my predictions at night because it's way too hot in LA to film during the day. My roommate was kind enough to let me use her bed as backdrop for the video. You know, some might say she's my #1 fan. I don't know, she's kind of giving up her bed for me to do the prediction video. Some might say she's a #1 fan. She's in the running, but I don't know. Anyway, as always, you can enter in your prediction picks at MMAGirls.net under this prediction video. Just comment underneath, but you have to go to MMAGirls.net and enter in your picks, and the first predictor with the most correct wins their choice of a Brawl Remove t-shirt. So, on to the first prediction. First prediction is Rich Franklin versus Vitor Belfort. Now, Vitor's back in the UFC after like 4 or 5 years. I think back in January he was on the Affliction card and he actually KO'd Matt Lindland, and he looked really fast, his strikes looked really crisp. So if that Vitor shows up in the fight, it could be really interesting. With Rich, you know, he wins fights. Kind of forget that because of his 2 losses to Anderson and the split decision with Henderson, which I actually felt could have gone the other way, but that's my opinion. But Rich, for the most part, wins his fights, and I have to go with the favorite on this one and pick Rich Franklin by decision. I don't know which Vitor is going to show up, but I'm definitely picking Rich Franklin by decision. Next prediction is Cro Cop versus Dos Santos, and this is Cro Cop's second fight after being back in the UFC. The first was against El Turk, and it's kind of controversy around the fight because it was an eye poke and then the ref didn't stop it, and then, you know, Cro Cop went and finished the fight. And I don't know, I mean, people are talking about having instant replay now in MMA to kind of stop this sort of thing. So that's where Cro Cop is. Now he's in this fight with Dos Santos, and Dos Santos is a really tough matchup. I actually don't really like this matchup for Cro Cop because he's really hard-hitting, Dos Santos is. And I don't know, but I'm going to go with Cro Cop. I think that his kickboxing experience, I think he'll use that to try and avoid maybe like the power of Dos Santos and actually deliver some of his own power. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that the old Cro Cop will be back. So we'll see, but I'm picking Cro Cop by TKO. Next prediction is Mike Swick versus Martin Kampmann, and Kampmann made the cut to 170, beat Carlos Condit, and now he's facing Mike Swick. And I actually really like this matchup. I'm really excited for this fight. I've learned not to bet against Mike Swick ever, because the one time I did, I was wrong. I bet against him against the Marcus Davis fight, and I was wrong. So as you can see, I'm going to go with Mike for this one. I really like this matchup from much like the Ben Saunders one. I really liked it. And I'm going out on a limb, and I'm going to say TKO. I was going to say decision because Kampmann's really tough, and actually he could pull an upset and, you know, win this. But I'm going with Mike Swick by TKO. Next prediction is Josh Koscheck versus Frank Trigg. And Trigg is back in the UFC. I didn't think I'd see him back, but he is back in the UFC, and they put him against Josh Koscheck. You know, Josh is a superior wrestler, and although I was never like the biggest fan of Josh Koscheck, I have to say his hands have been improving, and he's been looking really good. It's going to be a tough fight for Trigg. I'm going to have to go with Koscheck by decision, but I think that if Frank comes in with a good game plan and, you know, plays to his own strengths, I really see him, he could win this. But I would love to see him win it actually, but I'm going to go with Koscheck by decision. Last prediction is Tyson Griffin versus Hermes Franca, and I'm just going to say it, I'm picking Tyson by decision. I think he's going to stay out of Hermes' submissions like he does with everyone. He's really good at kind of avoiding submissions, really good submission defense. So I'm going with him by decision, but he does need to watch out for Franca's right hand. Franca hits hard, and he's taking opponents out with it. So Tyson's stand-up's been improving, his strikes are really crisp, and I think he'll do just fine. So I'm picking him by decision.